I explained to him that possibly we could probably get more traction if we show, our actual, appearance live, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we delegated on that for a bit, and then that's when we decided that we're gonna go into a live, way of speaking. So once we did that, we had uh we had ran into I want to say issue. It was just like we was having difficulties, trying to get the YouTube channel started as far that because that's when we was transitioning into YouTube. Even some of our older episodes that we just put on YouTube, you can actually see like we don't got no picture.
He not talking about me, by the way.
Yeah. We're gonna get into that because I
He
know
not talking
people are
about me,
gonna
by the
ask.
way. Just
Yeah,
let y'all
because I
know.
we're gonna get to that because I know people are gonna want to know. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna just briefly explain that. So anyway, so that's when we started to transition into the YouTube, but we was having difficulties. You know what I mean? But so then when we got into a standstill, you know what I mean? My man had some stuff that he had to take care of for himself personally. So then that's when we went into a stint. So we went into that stint, you know what I mean? I was already started doing a combat convo with my mans over here, and we was like booming with that.
Right.
So I
Now, for those that don't know, what is the combo?
combat convo, we basically do the same thing like we doing over here, but it's slightly different because we do
Nah,
combat sport.
it's way different. Come
Well,
on,
I mean,
bro. Like
well,
you ain't doing no justice over here.
No, all right.
It's way different, bro. Come on, man. Combat combo and Sketchpad is not the same at all.
No, I don't mean the same. I don't mean the same as the same what we talk about. I'm talking about the same as that like
Well, it's us too.
what we talk about. We talk about sports. We talk about
Yeah.
sports,
That's
but
what
totally
combat
different.
sports.
You guys have different categories you talk about on a different show.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
What's
Yeah.
the difference in each platform?
Yeah.
you
So we talk about combat sports
Yeah.
on Combat Convo,
and that
MMA.
includes wrestling, UFC,
Yeah.
boxing. Okay.
Yeah. That's the same.
So that's what we discuss over there. So I was already with him over there, and we was pretty popular. So I asked him like, yo, you know what I mean, join me over here, and like let's try to like see if we can push this channel.
Well, let me ask you this before we continue. With the different things that you do on each channel, how does the reactions on the sports channel compare to the reactions on the music channel?
You want me to answer that?
Yeah, you can answer.
All right, so we don't really necessarily do reactions on the sports channel.
Right. but
We
you
just basically
comments
cover,
and subjects.
yeah, we cover the fights that's coming up,
Right.
and we cover issues that happen, WWE, UFC, boxing, or any other combat sports that come across our desk. Usually, we just cover fights,
Right.
and we cover, if certain things happen, WWE, but we don't really necessarily react to things because it's very difficult to get something off of YouTube when it comes to sports and
yeah,
react
'cause
to
it's
it
kinda like
because they'll
licensing,
block
contracts,
you
yeah.
automatically. They'll just block you. You'll block the video. They'll say this video cannot be shown. So it's very difficult to do that.
So it's more of a commentary.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to let people know what the difference is in each
Yeah.
different show.
It's more of a commentary. So he knows a lot about WWE. He knows some things about
he
UFC.
was following wrestling.
Yeah, for a minute.
years.
So, and he had this thing called Bars Wrestling Media.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he was doing this thing over there. I came to him and I said, yo, we should do a sports channel called Combat Convo. Actually, it was a different name. I don't want to say the name, but but we doing a sports channel. And I said, bro, we should cover this. And he came in and said, yeah, let's do it. We came up with the name, and we thought of the logo, did everything, and then we started doing it. And we did that before we did the Sketchpad. Well, the Sketchpad was already around.
Right.
But before me and him actually came together to do the Sketchpad, I have another joint that I do myself. It's called Torture Talk, where I talk about politics and stuff like that. And then I have another, there's another channel as far as Torture Chamber, you know what I'm saying? But that's another story. Anyway, so when he came to me with the Sketchpad thing, I said, yeah, let's do it. And we developed a look for it, and then I don't know, somehow the look that we had was okay, and then we decided to go with a different look. It's similar, but it was better. And from there, just boom, just took off. You know what I'm saying? So the visuals, but it's definitely two different type of conversations.
Right.
If you know what I mean.
And it should be. But I'm also curious why so many different shows for the different subjects. Is it impossible to have all of it come out on the one show, or does it just work easier to have different shows?
So how it works is the algorithm specifically goes towards what your niche is and what you're talking about. If you have a reaction channel, but you're also talking about sports, it doesn't know which way to go. That's the problem I have with one of my channels now. One of my channels now is stagnated because I had battle rap on there, which the crowd is in the battle rap, but then I started talking about politics.
Yeah, okay.
And it's like, okay, well, which one are you? Which one are you? You know what I'm saying? So it can't go. So it's better to have a sports show where you talk about nothing but combat sports and whatever, and a talk show where you talk about whatever. It's over here. Because once you put the two together, then you have to kind of fuse them together, and it's difficult to do it that way.
Some channels have been able to be successful at it, and they created their own lane as far as you talk about the views and the analytics and stuff like that. They've created their own lane, but it's very, very difficult to do. You have to be like super seasoned to be able to like take all types of genres and then put them under one umbrella. You gotta be super seasoned to do that. And you gotta just know your way around YouTube and other social media outlets in order to do it. So, we were just like, nah, we just gonna keep everything separate. And then later on, if we're able to do that, then we'll do it. For right now, it's just easier for us.
I actually like it separate. Yeah. To be honest with you, because it gives your audience it gives you two different audiences. Right. And then some people like I put it to you like this. Even with having Sketchpad, we have like 5 different audiences on that one channel. You know what I'm saying? So if you got Ren fans, Easy Mill, Tom McDonald, Oliver Anthony, Nas, J. Cole, Kendrick, they don't watch the same thing. Mm-hmm. It's even though they're all basically, except for Oliver Anthony, all doing the same thing, but they don't watch the same thing. So it's like subsections. If you have combat sports and then you talk about all that stuff, like it's just not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I like it separate.
Yeah, it's just
plus it puts us in a different mind state too. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It puts us in a different mind.
It's just easier to keep them separate. Then we don't have to worry about certain things as far as, this is happening tomorrow, we gotta cover this, and this is happening tomorrow, we gotta cover that. It just kind of keeps everything organized, you know what I mean? So
yeah. That's what I would say. Definitely would say that. You know what I mean? Now, my thing is like with when we created, well, when I came into Sketchpad, I'm gonna say creative, but when I came into it with expectations of this is gonna be something that we talk about, like we're just gonna talk, and it's gonna be something that's gonna be big. But then when I was actually out the country, I think I was in Colombia somewhere, and I texted him and I said, "Yo, we should react to this song by these guys called Pete and Boz." Mm-hmm. That's what started it. And I don't know if you ever heard of Pete and Boz.
Like I said, I'm an old man.
They older than you, and they rap, and they're oh my God, they're fire.
It's super crazy.
I'm gonna see you the link. Send me the link. I wish you could watch the show right now. We can react right now. We can do a reaction right now, right with you on the jaw, like for real. But once I sent him this joint, I said, "Yo, we should react to these guys." Mm-hmm. And he was like, he said he sent me back the laughing emoji, like what's this? Like, and then he listened to it. He was like, "Yo, these guys are fire." So we end up reacting to that, and when we react to that, that kind of was a snowball effect for all the reactions, because we was doing good. We was doing good. Don't get me wrong. We had like 50 subscribers. We had 50 subscribers. Within, I believe, 3 weeks, 10,000.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, what are the benefits of doing podcasts? aside from getting notoriety, what is, as far as a business, how is it beneficial?
You want to answer that,
Yeah.
and then I'll come back
Yeah.
with it.
All right, so like we both like we just told you, we both are artists, right?
Right.
Our followers, if they're really in tune with what we do, period,
Right.
we could sell our merch on there. We could sell our music on there.
Okay.
We could sell our clothing on there. Anything that we do, we could promote. We could promote our other things that we do on there. Anything that we do as a whole, they will follow and they will purchase it because of the Sketchpad brand in general. They just love the Sketchpad. So anything that we're attached to, they will buy into it, you know?
Now, did you plan out the merchandising product before doing the show?
Yeah.
Because I notice a lot of people, they'll start a show and then come up with the idea of wanting to do product, but they don't have the product ready.
No.
So is that something you guys purposely set up and had ready so that once this thing took off, you had the available merchandise?
Yeah, we delegated and talked about it like way before we even decided we was going to combine to do the Sketchpad. We talked about it. We was like, yo, if this takes off, let's just put these templates together. And we started coming up with these ideas for templates, you know, the certain sayings that we was going to say, and we stood on that.
Right.
When we got on the show and we started to reacting, we stood on these certain, like, you know, gestures, you know, faces that we would make, and they became solidified on our channel and popular with our channel. So they expect us to say certain things and they expect us to react certain way. Like my bro, he came up with the masks because he's a collector of masks. So he came up with the mask. And I was like, yo, but they not gonna, you know what I mean? They're not gonna see our reactions to our face. And he's like, no, that's not the point. It's the point to pay homage to the artist with the mask. So if he's really talking crazy on the record, you put the mask on, put the hoodie on like goon face, like, oh, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I was like, yo, that's a banging idea. I hadn't even thought of it. So we started doing that, and that's when they started bugging out. It was like, yo, these guys are dressed for war. And it brought a different type of element to the channel. It brought a different type of excitement. So people were just excited. They didn't even have to, you know, be invested in reactions. They just were invested in just seeing what we were doing as a whole. It was just, they just bugged out for it, you know?
And you know what? It seems like there's a lane for everybody, whether you're famous or not, in regards to building a brand off a podcast. Because some of my favorite podcasts that I do watch, but I don't watch as much as I used to. When Drink Champs first started, I really enjoyed it when he first started. Now, sometimes it's a little too much overboard for me. I like Club Shay Shay. As far as reaction channels, I like Rob Squad. And I used to watch, there was this other couple that was similar to Rob Squad reactions. I can't think of their name right now, but they were like the first ones to get their channel taken because of some issues with YouTube.
Yeah.
But I like the dynamic of the choices of different shows, because right now, podcasts are more interesting viewing than regular television.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah.
So where do you see this thing going for the next couple of years?
All right. So I want to say something about what he said, and then I'll tell you what I think we're gonna do, or how I think we're gonna go about it. So as far as like the benefits of having a podcast is monetization. You can get what they call super chats. People can donate to you. They can do it, and there are a lot of YouTube channels who are very wealthy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they just sit in their room. There's one guy, I follow him. He sits in the room with his child in his apartment. This is a 1-bedroom apartment.
Right.
He sits in the room. His baby, it's just him. He's a single father. His baby is in the crib.
Right.
He has 970,000 followers. He gets almost maybe 200 200,000 videos. He talks about politics. So he gets a black guy. He talks about politics. Usually YouTube with AdSense page, the advertisers probably pay you between $8 but actually between $4 to $27. So if you're getting 100,000 views per video, and you're not getting flagged, just say you're not getting flagged, and they give you maybe $4 to $27 per 1,000 view. If you're getting 100,000 views per video, you can imagine how much money that is. If you're putting out 10 videos a day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times that's what we're in it. I ain't gonna say we're in it for just money, but we're in it
It's
to.
a great incentive, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Not gonna lie, like for real. And as far as that, I mean, that's as far as that goes. But now, as far as where I see this going, the reason why I came up with the concept of mask is because that automatically stands out. There's no YouTuber, and you can't even copy it
Right.
because you know where it came from. So if you copy it, you're blatantly copying. It's not like, oh man, like, because we do that. That's Sketchpad thing. You know what I'm saying? People get on our comments and they say, why y'all wearing a mask? The whole purpose of a mask is to see your reactions because we on demon time. That's why. And if there's something that they're saying, you know what I'm saying? You think like, if there's something they're saying, I ain't going to be hyped like, I'm going to show you I'm hyped by putting this mask on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I came up with the concept of mask, because you don't, like he said, you don't have to even like reactions.
Right.
But as soon as you see that, you're going to be like, oh, what they doing? It's interesting. So I think that it's going to be more masks. Where I see us going, more masks, have more guests, going to have people on, give them a mask. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Have you guys considered doing a live on a location?
we actually didn't get to that point yet, but we getting there. We getting there.
Yeah.
We was actually going to do that with Combat Convo, though.
Yeah.
We going to go to a sporting event. Yeah.
I'll just be in the background.
Yeah. It's, you understand. I have a weird mind, man, and I travel a lot. And I be wanting to do things, but I gotta understand that he is a family, so I can't be like, oh, yo, let's go to Colombia, or like I can't do it because he got a family. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he had to take time away from his family, so I have to, like, when I come up with these ideas, I gotta also take into consideration that this is what it is. But where I see us going, everything you just said, more on location, more things. We're gonna do more radio interviews like this. You know what I'm saying? Gonna probably have you on as a guest. Talk to you. You know what I'm saying?
Good. Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, we'll send you the link. We'll send you the link, or you can come into the studio. I got a studio right in my house. You know what I mean? So,
I just stop by randomly.
hey, that's why I'm like that. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is with the podcast thing. You know what I mean?
Just ask, do you think after building up all the experience because the one thing I like about this whole podcast format and people getting into it, you're learning different skill sets. Learn how to use mics and mix boards and cameras and angles. And would you ever consider transitioning to making, like a television project, like a film?
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. I would love that.
about
Yo,
that.
what?
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? I'm gonna put it to you like this. I don't usually repeat myself no more. Now that I learned proper mic and speech etiquette.
Right.
Because a lot of times you say, you know what I'm saying, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. You know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, blah, blah, blah.
I've seen so many tapes of yourself, you catch, I'm like, you know what, I got to work on this.
Yeah.
Because the biggest thing on radio, I used to do this,
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to count my uhs.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So a lot of times, and it still comes out, don't get me wrong, but I had to learn that, because I when I used to do the podcast by myself, when I used to do my I would say not even reaction, but reviews to hip hop albums, I found myself saying the same thing over. Right. So what I'll do is I'll listen to it and I say, you know what, let me do it over, but I'm gonna try to say stuff. I'm gonna learn more words. I'm gonna learn more words and try to expand my vocabulary. That's exactly what I did. So I started learning more and then once I started, you know what I'm saying, going into it and doing it, then I realized that what I was doing, all the old other stuff, and he even brought it up because I think your wife said something about it, right?
Yeah, my wife was like, shout out to my wife, by the way. She's like one of our biggest supporters. She definitely wants you know how women are sometimes, like if they gotta see the actual success behind it before.
You know what?
This ain't gonna work.
I'm fortunate enough that my wife gets behind what I do.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm grateful for that.
yeah.
Cause ain't nothing better than having a woman that gets what you're doing
Yeah.
and supports what you're doing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, like my wife is crazy. Like she pointed out how well spoken he was for the podcast, and then she got on my case. She was like, "Yo, you need to work on your speech when you're on the show." And I started laughing, but when I look back at the tapes, I was like, "Yo, she's right. Like, I really need to work on my speech as far as the podcasting because it's not like oh I'm writing lyrics down, so I'm saying what I'm saying as far as lyrics. No, I'm
Now, conversation ability is way different than MCing ability.
Yeah.
It's two totally different
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
two totally different dynamics.
Yeah. Yeah, so like just like you said, it's two different dynamics. So like I had to learn how to communicate better. Like, I even take my job for example, you know what I'm saying? It allowed me to communicate a lot better even at my workplace because I'm constantly talking on camera 24/7. And then, piggyback off of what he was saying, like I'm watching what he's doing, I'm like, no, I got I gotta get together. I gotta get better at this, And surely but surely, like with given time and opportunity, I started like picking up on certain things, and before you know it, I will actually watch a show, and it's like, wow, I was pretty well spoken on that,
But you know what though? I say this, MCing is perfect training for talking and communicating to people.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's funny to me how many people are not comfortable talking to there's 2 or 3 people in a room.
Mm-hmm.
MCing, if you can stand in front of an audience and a rap crowd can be the harshest reality check you could ever get.
Yeah.
If you can stand up to that, then having a leisurely conversation amongst people talking about things that you're interested in should be easy.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and again, it took me some time, but that all this comes from being well spoken because I'm probably about 35%. I would say I'm not nowhere near 100%. I'm trying to get like Jordan Peterson type of speech. You know what I'm saying? But if for me, I believe that it comes from having so many different subject matters to talk about. Because when you talk about certain things all the time, then you're always going to have that. But when you start, expanding your mind, your vocabulary expands too. So that's what it is with me.
Well, let me ask you, so who are some people that are, since this all falls under social media and media, who are some of your favorite people that do interviews?
Oh man, I got a couple of them, man. I got a couple of them, and I don't really. I'm not gonna say I don't want to say them, but I'm just gonna say I don't want people to get triggered. So, so I'm gonna keep some to myself. Because I know what time it is. I'm not stupid. But it's certain people that I like, and let's just say they're more on this. They stand on their side. I would say that it's not nobody that's threatening or suicide bombers or anything like that.
Roland is that dude for me because he
See,
says
I would
it's
differ.
simple.
I would differ.
He says it's simple and plain.
Yeah.
And I love when he goes at people who have said something that really bothers him. He's like, I'm gonna let you know why I'm bothered and why you're wrong, and I'm just gonna rip you apart.
I like
He's eloquent.
I like Roland Martin's intensity. I also like Michael Eric Dyson. I like how he speaks. Sometimes I think he thinks everybody's stupid but him. But I do like Michael Eric Dyson. I also like what's the other guy? I don't remember his name right now, but space guy. You guys always talk about space. Neil deGrasse Tyson. I like him, but sometimes again he's one of those people that think everybody's stupid but him. But I like them. But some of the guys that I like, I would say they don't line up the same with them. You know what I'm saying? So, but I listen to everybody. I just don't listen to one side of the spectrum. Be like, oh, I only like these people. Like, no, I listen to everybody.
I'll tell you what I really like about them. I like the research that they do and the information they have ready when they're speaking on the subjects they speak. And that's the one thing I like.
Yeah, so, but when you come on my podcast, I'll be able to tell you. You know what I'm saying? We'd be able to have a in-depth, deep conversation about some of these things.
All right, I look forward to it.
Yeah.
Wow, yo, the time just flew by. I got like 4 minutes left before the show is over. Is there anything you want to put out in the universe that's coming up that people should be aware of?
Oh, Halloween show.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We'll be taken over by the Joker and Batman again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's a great episode.
Yeah.
Make sure y'all tune in for that. Sketchpad podcast, greatest podcast in the world. You know what I mean? Also follow us on all our socials. You know what I mean? And that's it. That's all I got.
Yeah. To piggyback off what he said, you know, follow us on all our socials. We just gonna keep it moving. We gonna keep it rolling. You know what I'm saying? We definitely have pushed the envelope on, you know, how far we're gonna go, and we're gonna keep pushing it. You know what I mean? To infinity and beyond. You know, that's what we're doing.
I like Toy Story too.
Yeah. You know, we're appreciative, you know, to invite us up here.
Yeah,
and,
definitely, man. This is good.
Coming out, you know.
You know what? My goal is to have more guests on this year, because I tell people all the time, college radio is the outlet for the up and coming, the grassroots, and more people need to take advantage of access to it, because corporations are not going to give you corporate radios. No, it's not going to be as easily accessible as college radio. And if you hit all the stations across the country, you can build an audience on the non-commercial radio side.
Hey man, listen, I wish we would have did a reaction right live on here.
Yeah, that would have been cool. Yeah,
that would have been dope. You know, it is what it is. But thank you, man. Thank you for having us, man. We appreciate it, man.
Yo, man, it's definitely my pleasure. And keep me posted. Something's coming up, Vic. We ain't hung out in a minute.